The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors. Welcome to We Are the People with Tracy Marks and Jorge Estamba, who ask you to know what's happening with your student loan. Tracy and Jorge keep a deep look at student loans in this country and the industries that surround it. Every week, We Are the People will bring you new insight into the corporate welfare industry, such as bailouts, and they connect with student loans. The show will highlight on your constitutional rights and how the current system is built to infringe upon them. Join the conversation by visiting our website chat room at wearethepeople.tv. Or call the show at 888-565-1470 and let us hear from you. And now, let's tune in to Tracy and Jorge for this week's discussion.
And welcome back to We Are the People, Students for Liberty. With me today, as you've all met before, is Jorge Estamba. I did it again.
You did it again.
Anyway, Jorge is a MoveOn.org leader. MoveOn, as some of you know, is a social political organization, and Jorge is an international marketing consultant for them and for himself. And also joining us, back with us, as you met before, is Sonia Munjal. And with Youthful Savings. So what we want to talk about here is a little bit about the politics and about how to get your voice heard on your subject. So Sonia, you actually did try doing petitions before, correct?
I did. I worked for a company who was trying to pass a bill on Congress to get financial education passed. So if you took out a loan, you had to take a financial education course. And I lived in DC, so I, had to go through that process. It was quite interesting.
I have a question regarding the financial education course. What did that entail exactly? It seems interesting, but what did entail exactly that person had to comply with in order to pass that course and then therefore get the loan?
Basically,
what was
that? To be very honest with you, I think the guy that I was working for just kind of wanted to sell his curriculum, and that's why he was doing it. So, but I don't know what the course looked like. I was just an eager beaver, young kid, and I was like, okay, I'm going to try to do this. I have no idea, to be honest with you.
But it was a course.
Yeah, it was a course, and I think that's necessary. I think something like that is very necessary. I think that if you take out a loan, there's repercussions to that, and so we should, knowledge share that with people that are going to sign that, both the parents and the kids. And I think we need to restart that process again. But maybe
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, and I think the government should provide that. It should be a service that the government provides. And it's very, very necessary. And I think what we're doing with Youthful Savings is trying to teach these kids at a young age what a loan is, what interest is, how to save money. That's kind of what we're trying to do.
And they should know those things. But the language may sound, you read the language and it sounds like you know what it means, but yet it actually doesn't.
Right.
So even as a parent going in with their kids, I was in my 50s when I went back, so
someone has to look out for you at the end of the day.
They do, but I'm just saying, I guess it's really hard to look out for yourself the way things are set up. Now, for 7 years, everybody's been fighting this, so it's come a long, long way. But we do need something like that.
Yeah, and the student loan bubble is a big bubble. It's like over $1 trillion in the United States.
1.2.
Yeah, 1.2, there you go. And if we don't tackle that now, we're going to be in trouble because my generation is not spending the money that typically brings in income for the world. We're not buying houses. We're very.
Our age group is in trouble too.
Yeah, so I think we need to
because some of these people. I got out more closer to you, but I know people that are my age that are still paying some loans.
Right. So I think it's just a collective idea. We need to work together. We need to understand that when you take out money, there's a fee for that. And so what is that fee? Are you going to be able to pay back not only what you took out and that fee, which is called interest? Very simple, right? So we need to understand that, and if people are making money off that fee, and how much money is too much money for them, right? Because at the end of the day, people just want to get educated. They want a better life, right? So that's all we're trying to do, because the more educated we are, the better we are as a society. So I think we just have to think like that, and maybe we can make some positive changes.
I agree with that. Student loans is a very critical issue in our country right now. At MoveOn, we have been very aggressive with the student loan issue. We have created various petitions that have gone, we're a national organization, so it does distribute itself nationally. And we feel that the government is doing very little. We're digressing in student loans. We don't know the repercussions, or maybe they don't. In the long run, I always think Congress knows what they're doing, but it's just that they don't care. And to be very honest with you.
Yeah, no, I know. I worked with them, so I understand.
But student loan has to be one of the critical issues. We have major problems in our country, but that has to be one of the ones that the government has to confront. Can't hide away from it. And they just very recently, Congress added on the interest to the students who had loans, and in the same context, they lowered corporate taxes, which leads to another, conversation which could take hours. But just so we know the imbalances and the mixed priorities that we have in Washington through the Congress, how can you penalize the people who are yearning for education, which is our future, who are voting for you, and then give a break to corporations who are making billions of dollars? This is where we get into trouble with a lot of programs, and this is where our education system is being hurt.
So that's why Youthful Savings got started, because we believe in the grassroots movement. We can get one kid at a time. We can help them. Unfortunately, I had these big dreams of wanting to go macro, start macro. How do we change Congress? How do we do this? But I can't do that. I can't. I tried. The easiest thing to do is, not the easiest, but the most helpful the most effective is to one kid at a time make a movement. Why we're here right now is to teach these kids how to be self-sufficient. If you can teach kids to be self-sufficient, think for themselves, teach them how to earn money and save money, then they will be in a better place. Because unfortunately, the way that the government is situated right now, it's not doing a very good job of serving the people. And maybe I'm young, I don't know how it was before, but the way I see it, I don't see them serving me. I see them taking money from me. I'm glad that we have libraries. I'm glad that we have roads. I'm very grateful for that. But at the same time, there's a ton of corruption, and there's a ton of self-serving people that are supposed to be public servants. And so how do we change that?
One person at a time, just like with the kids. And that's why, and I guess it boils down to you working on yourself and getting right with what you think is right and wrong. And that's going to direct your path for change, whether it's this subject or any other one.
Absolutely. And you have to be educated. You have to understand that you're going to be successful despite people.
Yeah, and I mean, they taught us how to do taxes and balance a checkbook when I was in school.
Yeah, but right now the education system is in trouble. It's a big thing, and we're a powerful country. For whatever reason, imperialism, whatever you want to call it.
I think it's called capitalism.
Capitalism, and I'm not saying that capitalism...
Which is not working well in a lot of instances.
It has a lot of good in it, though. I mean, it's something that could be... even
it's a great system,
there's a lot of great things out there that work together.
We have to understand how to live within our means. We have to understand... I love social enterprises. Youthful Savings is all about social enterprises. My CPA business is a social enterprise. I believe there's not... I'm going to die, and I don't need that much stuff, right? But if I can help as many people as possible while I'm here this short time, I can make a difference. And and I think there's people in my generation and other people like yourselves that believe in that, and we just have to come together and help. The more you give, the more you get back, right?
Exactly.
So we just have to all think like that.
Another important point is, and I want to get your input, I personally, and with MoveOn, we have also worked to protect teachers and get them better salaries and better tools, better infrastructure. And I wanted to know from somebody who is in that profession, the educational profession, is that, and I'm asking a rhetorical question, which I know the answer, but it's important that I share it with you, is how important is that we give the teachers the salary that corresponds to a person who is so critical to society, and apparently a number of many Congress people and many public citizens don't appreciate and don't recognize the importance that a teacher has in our society, different from Western European countries and Scandinavian countries and Japan that really appreciate it, and that's why their educational system at this point in time is much better than ours. Am I correct in that assumption?
Absolutely, and I was telling you, I think my mom's a mom, right? I'm not a mom, but I have kids that I work with, and I think that I'm their mom. But I'm just, I mean, I feel like they're my kids. But I guess my answer to that is that you guys out there are probably moms or dads, and think about how hard it is to raise your one kid. Now think about being in a classroom and having 30 of your kids.
I try to tell Ray
8 hours, 9 hours a day, and then that's a hard job, and you're making these teachers wanting to do that with this. We have like a shortage of money's not flowing as it once was, right?
Definitely not.
These parents that have these kids that are then going to school are working really hard, right? They don't have that time to parent that once was out there now. Because it's so hard to even pay for things. So these teachers are being stressed, and there have to be parents, and they have to be teachers, and you're putting so much pressure on them. But in reality, they have one of the hardest jobs out there. And it's important for them to understand that. And I have so many friends that left the teaching field because they just couldn't handle it. So where are we going to find these great teachers?
And then their student loans add up on them because you're not able to pay for it.
Right, so where are we going to find these great people to inspire the youth to make this world better, right? We need to incentivize that, and we're just not. I mean, that's what we try to do with Youthful Savings is we try to, once 1 hour a week we'll go in and teach, right? Because we have products and then we also teach. But I can't, it's hard to even do 1 hour. I mean, I love it, but it's difficult, and I have so much empathy for these teachers that are there 8 to 9 hours a day.
Yeah,
30 kids, 45 kids, 50 kids now. I mean, this is a serious issue.
It's a very serious and critical issue.
It's a very serious, critical issue. We're not going to be able to sustain our power, quote unquote, if we do not fix our education system. It is a serious problem.
Let me cut in here too. I want people to keep in mind though that each state is different. We forget that because we're the United States. So some states have better things. So you may be sitting here with 45 people in a class. We don't have that. They're 20, but there are states out there that have that. So, when we speak, we're we're here in Florida, you're from New York, we're in New York
Chicago,
right now, Chicago, back and forth. Well, New York area.
But that holds true also in New York, is what you're saying, right?
Absolutely.
So,
well, our kids have a smaller class size, but I just wanted to make sure everybody's aware.
DC is where we first taught at Martha's Table, and it's difficult, and all the people that hired us to come in no longer work at Martha's Table for a reason, because it's difficult to work there. It's difficult to work with 45 kids that are disadvantaged, right? With single parent households that are coming in to a program. It's difficult.
No, it's almost impossible.
It's almost impossible because we don't budget for that, right? Like, I would be fine, like there needs to be more money put, not just money into the education system, it's the accountability. We need to put in accountability, we need to put money, we need to put resources of time and talent into fixing the education system, and it has to happen now.
That's one thing that Move On is trying to do, because one of our strengths is that we teach and educate people to be empowered.
Perfect.
The American people have gotten lazy. There's a lot of apathy in our country, and so we have gotten what we deserve also as citizens, because we haven't done our job and our responsibility to defend this democracy, which is eroding. And one of the things that people need to go out and support when we have rallies and we have marches and different activities, social activities, not political, okay, social activities that cater and address these issues, people need to go and support these movements because they're not political. We're not asking to kick out, Mr. So-and-so. We're asking for the government to please recognize as parents and as parents that we have kids in school that this is critical, and we want Congress, we want the U.S. government to recognize that. But if we as the people, and we are the people, do not go out there and voice our opinions when we have the opportunity in a democratic society, shame on us.
Yeah. So Move On makes that much easier.
Right, and I'm happy that you guys are out there, but I can only speak for my generation, and I'll tell you this. We grew up with a lot of information. We saw a lot of corruption. I'm not an apathetic person. I believe in empathy. However, because I'm empathetic,
there's a reason why apathy is there, though.
I understand it. We need to find fresh faces in the government that are really for the people. And
And they can think out of the box and work together for crying out loud.
I think some came, I may have voted for a couple of them. But the problem is like, I believe in, it's a Vedic term, it's called Sangha, and it's your association, and I believe in that. And I feel like when you're around crap, you kind of turn into crap.
Definitely.
And so I can't blame like eager beavers that come into the government that, want to make a difference. But if you're around it, how do you change that? I think that there needs to be something that, I think change happens one at a time.
It does, because you got to work on yourself to make yourself strong enough to overcome all the crap that you're in the middle of, because there's going to be crap wherever you go.
And I think there's community organizations that are making a difference with kids that are out there, with parents, etc. And I think, in my opinion, this is how we got into Youthful Savings, was because it's just much more meaningful / you see better results when you do it one kid at a time, one organization at a time, and then create this like grassroots movement. Because starting from the top just is difficult unless everyone goes away.
Let me ask you a question. When you did do your petition, was it through Move On, or did they have
it was through this company, this for-profit company.
Oh, it was a company.
This for-profit company that wasn't paying me to do it, but I was getting into financial education.
Because Move On's much easier.
Right, I'm sure that's a better way to go.
Have you ever...
We're going to work together, we're in.
Sign on.
Dotted line.
Yeah, no, exactly.
It's so simple, and a lot of people don't know about it, but it's become the most popular
that's the way to do
site now, and it's being utilized, thank God, in a massive level, and it's done tremendous good. There's a lot of positive that's come out from signon.org.
Absolutely.
And it's free.
Sign on.
Sign me up.
Signon.org is the petition drive for MoveOn.org. It's not MoveOn.org. You can go into MoveOn.org and you'll see the petitions. But if you want to go directly on, signon.org or MoveOn.org.
And how do you guys get funded?
We fund ourselves by totally internal contributions.
Gotcha.
Maximum is $2,500. We don't accept from any other organization, whether it's private or political. We do not.
So it's like a collective movement. People that are working together are helping. I'm so about that. High five.
Thank you for that.
That's great.
We're very proud
and
of
it's
that,
simple too. Once you sign a petition, they'll send you petitions that are related to what you signed on for, and then they'll send you things that they think are surrounding it. And it really is
So you really are doing it one.
You can go click, and you're done.
Funding-wise and signing it. You're doing it together. It's a community that you're building. That's awesome.
So it makes that's much easier than what you tried to do.
Because the guy that was doing my thing he was self-serving. He just wanted his.
I was just going to say that's what happens because it's self-serving.
It was self-serving.
We don't make a penny from that. We don't charge anything.
He wasn't even paying me. And it was a for-profit company. Like, pay the person that's trying to pass a bill for you, right? I mean, he wasn't, and he refused to. So. You know how I feel about that.
I know. Now you have people, and you pay
Everybody gets paid. Because we're a for-profit company. We believe no profit, no mission. We're trying to sustain ourselves. We want to write checks. I don't want to ask for checks, right? Unless I'm giving you a product or a service. But I made it a point because I know what it's like to work for free and be abused. So everybody that works for me gets paid. No matter what. We all get paid. We do revenue shares. There's different things that we do. The more we grow, the more we pay. I don't need a lot, right? So I just need enough to pay my bills, but as much as I can share for all the people that are collaborating, I want to. That's like a gift.
This is a tremendous business model that you're just explaining.
I
hope a lot of the young people and not so young people take in mind because this is a really business model that you're creating. And that
it's new and
it's new, it's functional.
We say business fresh.
Business fresh.
Business fresh.
Yes, we were laughing so hard about terms like this and stuff when we were coming. I got lost. I made the wrong turn and ended up in Miami, and I'm coming to Boca from Fort Lauderdale. Now you tell me how I did that. So it was an adventure this morning.
No, but we just don't need a lot. We all die. We don't take anything with us. That's the thing. But we need to invest in ourselves and other people.
And I think when you do that, you do earn more prosperity because
like spiritual health.
And I can live in the woods and run around half naked and be fine with that, but there's sometimes I want to put on fine clothes. And I want to eat fine food. And, I was in the restaurant business, so even though I'm,
Well, there's
far
certainly
below
nothing
what I
wrong with
used to
that.
be. No, there's not, and
And a
people
lot
are
of
made to feel
people
guilty for
misunderstand
it.
when we
Right.
talk about this.
All we're-
We want people to be
Yeah,
comfortable.
I was gonna say,
We just don't want abuse in our
Right,
country, and we
right.
want dollars to go where they
Right.
should.
And I don't
Right.
care that the
Okay.
wealthy
I
are
mean-
wealthy, and I don't hate them
Right.
for that. I love that
Right.
about this country, but damn it.
But if I drink
If you've
fine
got
wine-
20 cars, you can give me $10 an hour.
Right, no, I understand that. But if I'm drinking fine wine and if I'm eating fine food, I want other people to be doing the same thing, is all I'm saying. So everyone that works for Youthful Savings, want to share it, you know?
I
think it's a tremendous business model. I think it's something that people should emulate.
Cool.
I really mean that. Otherwise, I wouldn't say it.
I mean, I wouldn't have learned this without great teachers, right? So I got lucky there, great advisors, wonderful parents. So I think our gift now is to share this with others.
I was just going to
too
say,
many
the
people
whole
don't
key is
have all
to
that.
share it
Right.
and keep it growing.
Right, absolutely. Knowledge,
Okay,
resource.
and that's fantastic if you can do that, and I highly encourage you to keep on doing it, and
Absolutely.
whatever
Thank
we
you.
can do for you.
Yeah, we're working together.
Because we have to
Yeah.
work together. That's another thing. We have to
Absolutely,
work as a community, as a society.
Right,
We
so-
can't be polarized anymore. This
Right.
country's become too polarized.
Absolutely. So we actually believe in the 3 C's of business. It's collaboration, compassion, and contribution.
I love that.
So that's what we're about.
That's
So,
awesome.
and that's what we're all about here, you know. We have views that are very much the same. We also have some views that are very much different. However, you know, we're going to set a good example for Congress.
Hopefully, yeah. I
You
mean,
know, we got
I gave
diverse
up. I don't know what
backgrounds
else to tell
here.
you. I gave up. I'm going to do my
But
own
people
thing.
learn by example. We'll do our own
Yeah.
thing. We'll be good to
There's
people.
more babies being
You know,
born.
we got
We'll bring
3
them on
different
Youthful
companies.
Savings.
You know, we're not related in any way, but
Yeah.
we're coming together, and
Yeah.
you know, we'll see how long it goes.
Yeah.
We'll see how long it goes, and we'll help each other through the rest.
There's an unending supply of babies, so we can keep encouraging them to be compassionate leaders. Eventually Congress will change. Eventually they will go away. We'll have new people come in. You know, hopefully that's the goal.
Hopefully that
So-
is the goal, that
Yeah.
you guys maintain yourselves until
Right.
times are better, and
Yeah.
then, you know, you'll keep on
Right.
doing your thing.
Right.
But it's important that you do it at this point in
Right,
time.
absolutely.
When things are bad, that's when we have to come together. And this country has always done it.
Right.
So I don't have any doubt that we will do it,
Yeah.
and that we will encourage Congress to act and do the right thing. It's not going to be easy. It hasn't been easy, but we're going to win victory.
Well, see, I think my mom always said this because my mom was an immigrant, and she was like, you know, one of the things that I love about America is that we always come through,
Yes.
and we always give back, right? So it's in our currency, in God we trust, and I think that we're lucky. We have a lot of resources, and we got lucky, and so because of that, it gives us a good foundation, and then we're able to help, right? I got lucky being born here. I was like, luck. So I think that we are on the right path, for sure, about that. I think we just have to keep on it, like you say.
We have great resources.
Yeah.
We have great everything.
Right.
And there's something that we have that is the greatest political manifesto ever developed by man. It's called the United States Constitution of
Yeah,
America.
Declaration of
And we
Independence.
have to
Oh,
make
yeah.
sure that our Congress people and elected officials respect that Constitution, because that's our lifeblood. And the
Absolutely.
minute we turn our back on that, we're
Right.
dead.
Absolutely. No, I 100% agree. I mean, Youthful Savings got started in D.C., so I can't hate on D.C. that much, but we started it grassroots, and I think that I'm all about that.
And that's a good place to learn.
Yeah, it's a
I
good
mean,
place
if you
to
can
learn it.
survive there.
Yeah, I mean, so, and now we're in New York, and so it's a different environment, but it's so great because there's so many talents in New York. But the Congress does need a lot of help, as seen. I mean, look at it.
Okay.
It's shut down.
So now, let's talk about a petition for what, if you were going to form a petition for what you think, and we're going to actually do this on Move On, if that's all right with you?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Okay, so if somewhere along the line we're going to have where we're going to show you how you can just go on Move On and create all this and search
Yeah.
it and make it really easy.
Right.
So let's kind of, how would you term it?
Well, I think you're on the right. What you said about teachers is very important. I
Yes.
think we really need to concentrate on that. It's great to put in resources and different curriculum in, but right now we're not even doing the basics right?
That's
So
because we lack manpower.
I think we're not incentivizing being a teacher. And so
Well,
we
that's
need
even-
to, right.
that's even worse.
Right, so
There is no sense.
because of the student loans, it's expensive to go to school, but it's not like excuse my language, it's not a sexy job anymore. Right?
No, it
Being a
isn't.
teacher just isn't a sexy job.
not.
Right? So how do we make it a good job? How do we make it a meaningful job? Because that's where it's at. So I think that's where to start. And then I think we could get into, maybe teaching kids life skills. It's life skills, whatever that may be, whether it's entrepreneurship, whether it's financial education, whether it's how to get a job. But we're not even teaching, kids are not learning math and English properly.
No, they're not. Oh my God, my son is 13.
Yeah,
it's driving me insane.
Right. I have an amazing friend named John who's amazing, and he was like me. He was an accounting major, kind of didn't want to do it anymore, so he went into education and got kicked out of it, to be honest with you. He couldn't get a good job. He was substitution. He was on people's couches trying to get a great job. I mean, it was just hard to even get a good teaching job. And I think we need to open the doors up a little bit and find these kids that are just like so compassionate and want to help these students. And there's like administration issues that were going on, and things kind of get, from what I understand, like you can make a school a corporate environment as well.
Oh,
because
yes,
the private charter schools, it's and they're only as good as the people that are running them.
Right. So I think it's important to put something together where there's some checks and balances. And
but I mean, specifically bringing in financial education.
Yeah, or I mean, I think life skills, right? I think financial education is a tough thing to teach unless you teach kids how to earn money first.
Well, that can be part of it.
Right. That's what my own business challenge is about. But I mean, I think it's important first. The first step right now is to help the teachers, to be honest with you.
So if you were to put, like Tracy asked you, if you were to write a petition right now, the subject, the title, the headline, that you would do, and you can do as many as you want, by the way.
Right.
Okay, that's the beauty of petitions. What would be that subject, that heading, that I'm curious, you as a professional in that field, your first petition regarding the problems that we confront in education, what would that petition read like?
I think it's freedom of teaching. So I'm not a teacher, right? I'm an educator. We educate youth one-on-one, or we'll go into programs and do it. I'm a business person, right? Like I have my own CPA business. But I think all my friends are in teaching, and at one point I wanted to be a teacher in the traditional fashion. I'm a teacher in a different fashion, right?
Correct.
But I think that there is like a freedom that doesn't happen with teachers. I think that you get a lot of like right-brained kids that want to make a difference and are very compassionate people, but then things have become really regulated by like bureaucratic processes.
They're teaching them how to test.
Well, right, there's bureaucratic processes, there's like numbers, right, because the state gets certain funding based on how these kids pass, and how do we break away from that and have it be more about how happy these kids are, or how much are they flourishing, or are they living their passion. There's like an emotional aspect that's being taken out when we do everything by numbers, and it makes life a lot easier when you do things by numbers. I'm a numbers person, but I also believe in the quantitative and the qualitative, and we're somehow missing the qualitative. So how do we bring that in? So we need to open up the doors for creative, soulful people to come in to a teaching career, and not only them be happy, but then also inspire happiness to these kids, because life is about happiness, right? And it's about living your strengths. And I think somehow when we become so numbers focused and funding focused and money focused and all this stuff that happens, we're not having that right now.
I agree with that.
So I think we need to come up with some sort of statistics out there, and it's I mean, I believe in our program and stuff, but that's just not it right now, because there's like serious issues that are going on in the education system.
So I think that's great that you're going, this is mine and I love it, but there's more important
there's just some real serious things that, like, we just seriously don't have enough teachers. Like, it's a serious problem.
But that's budget.
No, it's because people of my generation, I'm 29, but people do not want to be teachers
No, yes,
anymore.
they don't.
Right.
But I mean, listen, over the last few years, my son's he's just went into junior high, but like 3 years in a row, they cut, like 6 teachers, and then they cut 8 teachers next, and then that third year they cut out all the arts, all the PE, and my God, these little kids need to go out and run. They're all on medication because, they're too damn cooped up and they're not getting
So what are we doing wrong? Why is it so difficult to budget?
Right.
We have to keep budgets in our house.
Right.
So what is going on?
They need to practice what they preach. Government, practice what you preach.
But what is going on? Like, we need to figure, like, why. I just need to know the why. If we know the why, we can fix it. But why do we not know the why?
That's a good point. I love that.
I mean, I don't want to sit here and blame them. I just want to fix it.
I can tell you why we don't have enough money. Because we have diverted the tax base that one time came from corporations to
Right.
to subsidize social programs like education. Now we give tax breaks and subsidies to the
Right.
to the corporations.
Right.
25% of U.S. corporations pay zero taxes.
Well,
Guess whose 25%
yeah.
that is?
Well,
Whose corporations are they? Those are the biggest in the world.
Think about some of the big corporations that don't make profit. Well, guess what? If you don't make profit, you don't pay taxes.
And
I mean, yeah, you have FICA taxes, which is employment tax, but the thing is that we also lost a lot of jobs, and so we had some tax breaks went in just to create jobs, right? That was like the give.
But they didn't actually do the job.
You have been listening to We Are the People with social advocates Tracy Marks and Jorge Estamba, who every week bring to the light the needs and changes in our current system. Tune in every Monday night at 7 p.m. on wearethepeople.tv and participate in the conversation in the chat room or call 888-565-1470. Tune in next Monday for more information and facts. And Tracy and Jorge remind you to stay aware of your surroundings and challenges at all times.